In this session, we will explore about the human goal or human aspirations, which is at this point of time, we have repeated it several times. Human goal or human aspiration is happiness and prosperity. It is not only happiness and prosperity, it is continuity of happiness and prosperity. So in this session, we will explore it little bit more. And the second topic in continuity with that, relationship, a human need, we will also explore it. Although in the first and second session, the previous speaker, Mr. Shiva Kumar, has discussed about the relations value in relationship. We will discuss it why relationship is a human need and what is its importance. Based on our previous 4-day discussions, we will explore this concept of relationship, human to human relationship, with help of several examples. So before starting my presentation, again I am giving the outline. I am defining the boundary of my presentations. So whatever is said in the form of proposal, do not assume it to be true. So whatever I am saying, consider or take it as a form of proposal, and you have to verify it on your own right, on the basis of your natural acceptance. In previous lecture, on the second day, we have discussed about what we mean by the natural acceptance. Natural acceptance of an individual. Say for example, I have given you one example related with the relationship. So what we mean by the natural acceptance? I want to live in relationship. This is my natural acceptance. But the present state of being is, sometimes I want to be in relationship and sometimes I am in contradictions with other human beings. So that is not my natural acceptance. So here what I am saying is that whatever I am saying from my side or whatever I am showing it on my slide, assume, take it as a form of proposal. Do not assume it to be true. You have to verify it on your own right, on the basis of your natural acceptance. Then if you will take in this form, then the whole process, whatever I am saying and you are listening, it will become a process of dialogue. First, the dialogue will start between me and you to start with, and later on, very soon it will become a dialogue within your own self. So that is the whole boundary of our discussion during these 5 days of universal human value component. This is the boundary. Whatever the speaker is saying, it is in the form of proposal. You do not assume it to be true. Neither you will take it instructions form, neither it will take in any other form. You have to verify it on your own right, on the basis of your natural acceptance. If you find yes, this is true, then you have to live accordingly. So this whole discussion, whole lectures come discussions, it is a process of dialogue, a dialogue between me and you to start with, and very soon it becomes a dialogue within yourself. So this is a proposal. You have to verify on the basis of natural acceptance. You have to verify it on your own right. Okay. So on this background, on these definitions, we will start. We are going to explore what we mean by the human aspirations or what we mean by the human goal, which is nothing but the happiness and prosperity. It is not only happiness and prosperity, it is continuity of happiness and prosperity. So the basic human aspiration is continuous happiness and prosperity. We are going to explore this statement in detail. So our first task is to understand what we mean by the basic aspirations are, and then what is it that all human beings basically want. So before concluding for all human beings can be as an individual, since I have to judge myself on the basis of my natural acceptance. So as an individual, can I explore as a human beings what I basically want, what my wants are. So let us do it. So for exploring that, what I want in my life, the exercise which generally in classroom or when doing this in during the classroom one-to-one interactions, generally we perform a exercise that is making a list of all that you want in your life, and once you note it down in your notebook, kindly specify the reason for wanting them, why you want it, and then say, for example, if you start making a list of all that you want in your life at an individual level, so what will be the list will look like? Say, for example, any human beings, any student, any one of you, including me, if I started listing what I want in my life, what a student want in their life. So your list, individual list may comprise of things such as I want to become an engineer or an MBA professional to get the highest grade, to be the first ranker in the examinations, to be the smartest guy in the crowd, to be the master of all trade, to earn more wealth than the wealthiest person in the world. And the list can go on long and long, but when you try to prepare it by yourself, it will be very difficult to fill even one page or two page. So first, I am preparing my want in my life. What I want in my life, our first task is to understand what our basic aspirations are. For understanding that, I am preparing what is it that as an individual I basically want. For preparing it, I am making a list of all that I want in my life, and at the same time, since I am making, so I can specify the reason for wanting this particular things in my life. So if you explore it, since the list is very general, to be an engineer, becoming an engineer, an MBA professional, to get the highest grade, to be the first ranker in the examinations, and the list will go on. Later on, when you carefully analyze it, after making the list, see if there is anything basic to all of them. What is basic in all of them? To be an engineer, okay, that is my want. Or an MBA professional, to get the highest grade, to be the first ranker in the examination, to be the smartest guy in the crowd, to be the master of all trade. But reason for wanting this, what is the reason behind this? Why I want to become an engineer? Okay, I want to become an engineer, but why I want to be an engineer? Why I want to do an MBA professional? Why I want to get the highest grade? Why I want to the first ranker in the examinations? So later on, when after making all the list of your want, kindly check if there is anything basic to all of them. What is basic? In all of them, is there any basic aspiration of yours behind all your wants? Then after completing this exercise, you will find that behind everything I want in my life, the root cause, the main reason is that I want. Say, for example, let us say an individual human beings as a student a student want to be the first ranker in the class. That is their want. But further explorations of this want, why I want to become the first ranker in the class. So now behind this desire to get the first rank, is there a more basic desire? We have to explore. First, as an individual, prepare all the list of want in your life and then pick one by one. Okay, I want to be the first ranker in the class. Now behind this desire to get the first rank, is there a more basic desire? On further exploring onto it, we will find that why do you want to get the first rank? What is the reason why I need it? This is my desire. I want to get the first rank. But what is the basic desire behind getting the first rank? If you keep asking these questions and repeating it for each and every one, each and every list of desire which you have prepared and which an individual has prepared, you will find that there is a basic desire in each one of the desire, in each one of the one, in which as an individual, as a whole, as a collective, for the whole class, for the whole people, there is a basic desire in each one of the wants, in each one of the desire. What is that? What is this desire? Is it to be happy? That is a question mark. After exploring all this, you will find that I want to be an engineer. I want to do MBA professional. I want to be first ranker in the class. This is a type of desire. This is the type of want of an individual. On further exploration of this, we find that on the base of it, why I want to be first rank in the class? Because I want to be happy. What is this desire? This basic desire is to be happy. Yes, it is. Take any other want or desire and you will find the same things. Take any desire from your own basis and explore it. I want to do social service. What is the reason for doing social service? I want to do this. I want to do that kind of work. I want to do that. I want to achieve that thing in my life. What is the basic desire behind doing a particular activity, engage in a particular activity? If we explore it very deeply and think on it, behind every desire, the basic desire is to become happy. Take any other want or desire and you will find the same things. You will find that each of your wants emerge from the basic aspirations to be happy. Whatever the list we have prepared, whatever the list as an individual you have prepared, the list of all your want, the list of all your desire, the main thing is to I want to do this because by doing this, I think I will become happy. So you will find that each of your wants emerges from the basic aspirations to be happy. On further, each one of these statement can be verified by each one of you. How you will verify? At an individual level. For if you verify it individually, for doing that, first you have to prepare your list of want, your list of desire, which I think this list of desire is already prepared, but before you have to explore each and every wants. What I want to do in my life. What is my list of want in my life? And then explore, okay, if I will achieve, what will I get in return? I will get happiness. So in this way, you can verify each and every wants which you have prepared by yourself. And on the basis of that, we can say that this also implies that every human being is continuously trying to do things to make him or her happy, and every human being is capable of feeling this happiness in himself or herself spontaneously. So on the basis of that, we are concluding it. Every human being is continuously trying to do things to make him or her happy, and every human being is capable of feeling this happiness in himself, herself, spontaneously. So whatever I am doing, the main reason for doing any activity involving any activity is for make me happy. And every human being is capable of feeling this happiness in himself, herself, spontaneously. And it is intrinsic value to all of us. And we are all working for it continuously in different way as per the level of our understanding. At any moment of time, I am as an individual, as a human being, I am involved in some activity. We cannot deny, I cannot deny that at this particular time, at this particular moment, I am not doing any activity. So whatever activity I am doing it for the sake of happiness. And this is, and if I enjoy that activity, so this will lead to happiness in me, happiness in as an individual, happiness in himself or herself spontaneously. And this is intrinsic to me and intrinsic to every human beings and intrinsic to all of us. So on this basis, we are saying that I am saying that we are all working for it continuously in different way as per the level of our understanding, depending upon what is my level of my understanding for doing a particular activity, for completing a particular job. Accordingly, I am my way of working, my way of doing, my way of completing a particular activity may be different, but we are all working for it continuously. As a result, what is happening? Since most of the time, the level of our understanding for completing a particular job, for finishing a particular activity, for involving it in a particular job is entirely different for each one of us, depending upon that level of individual understanding. What is happening? Sometimes I may succeed, sometimes I may fail. So based on this experience, we say that sometimes we succeed, many times we don't. But we still keep trying throughout our life for happiness. So whatever I am doing, whatever you are doing, it is doing for the happiness. The root cause, the basic desire in all list of desire, in all list of want is how to get the happiness. It is not only that happiness for a particular moment, but what if you observe it carefully, if you analyze it carefully, you will also find that as an individual, I want the continuity of this feeling of happiness as well. We want the continuity of this feeling of happiness as well. because from the next moment onwards, it is very difficult, even it is very difficult to imagine that for that particular period of time, I want to be unhappy. It is not coming in our imagination itself. So on that basis, we are saying that you will also find that we want the continuity of this feeling of happiness as well. So we do not want happiness in a spurts or in interval, but we want in continuously. How much in continuously? 24 hours 7. Not a single moment. I can imagine that, I can think that, okay, at that particular moment of time, I want to remain unhappy. So I need it, I want it continuously. I want continuous happiness in my life. We do not want unhappiness even for a moment. How successful we are today in achieving this? It is a matter for serious exploration. So as an individual, since whatever I am saying it, whatever other speaker have said it, it is in the form of proposal. So you have to explore it by your own self. You have to explore it by yourself. If it is naturally acceptable to you, then you try to live accordingly to it, and if you try to live accordingly to it, it will lead to the mutual satisfactions with other human beings. This will lead to the continuity of happiness in your life, and it will spread to other human beings also. But at this moment, we are exploring if this is the situations, how successful we are today in achieving this is a matter for serious exploration. But based on this discussion, one thing is clear that happiness is a basic aspirations of all human beings, and therefore it becomes our prime purpose to gain the correct understanding about it. On what basis I am saying that? The prime purpose, the basic aspirations to all human beings is to happiness, not only happiness, continuity of happiness. On what basis I am saying that? I am saying on the basis that first I have prepared my list of what I want in my life. After preparing all the list and combining and looking into, say I have prepared 30 or 40 or 100 or 200, I want this, I want to do this, I want this. And after making all the list, on closer examination of each and every wants, each and every desire, what I find, okay, so for example, we have discussed a particular student want to get first rank in the class. So think for a moment, if that student is you, and if you get the first rank in the class, what will happen? You will feel very happy. So the root in every desire, behind every desire, the root desire or prime desire is to being happy. So on the basis of that, we are saying that it is a matter of questions. This how successful we are today in achieving this is a matter for serious explorations. But if you look at, if you examine it carefully, one thing is clear here that happiness is a basic aspiration of all human beings, and therefore it becomes our prime purpose to gain the correct understanding about it. So at this point of time, I am giving you a statement in the form of proposal. Whatever I am doing, I am doing it for the sake of happiness. Whatever an individual is doing, whatever you are doing, in whatever activity, in whatever job you are involved, it is for getting the happy, being happiness. And not only getting the happy, we need it in continuous, because if you think from this moment onwards, in our imaginations we cannot think after a certain day, after a certain period of time, I want to become unhappy. So on that basis, I am proposing here, one thing is clear, that happiness is a basic aspiration of all human beings, and since it is a basic aspirations of all human beings, that means you and me also. So it is our prime purpose to gain the correct understanding about it, what we mean by the happiness. So let us explore it further. Going a little further in our explorations, we can also appreciate that being happy implies being free from contradictions, being in consonance with our natural acceptance, being in harmony. So in addition to happiness, we also aspire for adequate fulfillment of our bodily need. That is the need for physical facility. If you remember the yesterday lecture or day before yesterday lecture come discussion, we have prepared the list and we have defined human braver. Human is a nothing but combinations of two reality, body and self. So on that basis, say happiness is requirement for self and physical facility is requirement of bodily need. So apart from that, in addition to happiness, we also aspire for adequate fulfillment of our bodily needs. That is the need for physical facility. And physical facility are nothing but it is the material things we use to fulfill the needs of the body. This is discussed in greater detail. So when we have enough of physical facility, it gives us the feeling of prosperity. So we want to have a continuity of this feeling too, apart from the continuity of happiness. Nobody wants to feel deprived of any physical facility, even for a single moment. So we need the continuity of happiness and continuity of physical facility. So on this basis, I am proposing here another statement. You have to verify in yourself on the basis of your natural acceptance. There are two basic aspirations of every human beings. That includes you and me. What is it? That continuous happiness and prosperity. We need in both continuous happiness and continuous prosperity. And these two, continuous happiness and continuous prosperity, these are the root of all our aspirations and the efforts that go towards achieving it. Whatever assumptions I have made for ourselves, and basis of that assumptions I am living accordingly it and doing something, making efforts to fulfill that assumptions. The root is that in behind each and every assumptions, each and every activity, each and every efforts I am making for getting the continuous happiness and prosperity. So we will also explore what we mean by the correct meaning of continuous happiness and prosperity. We will explore it further. So what we mean by the happiness and prosperity? So if you look the definition of happiness, happiness is nothing but the, before giving the definitions, let us understand it with some example. So example is, you have to think as an individual level, because happiness is related to my inner being. It is related with oneself. So I have to do the exercise individually. So for doing that exercise, say try to recollect situations when you feel happy. Now when you will recollect situations, and if we explore it further, the in same situations one person may feel happy, in same situations another persons may feel unhappy. So that's why the situations for each and every may be different. So here what I am trying to say is, try to recollect situations depending upon your choice. Create your situations from your past. Recollect situations when you feel happy. You will see that there is a set of feelings which you are able to accept effortlessly and naturally. What are they? Those feelings? These are feelings such as trust, respect, be confident about your futures. Now, in today morning session and afterward, we have discussed about, sir has discussed about the trust, respect, being confident about yourself. So these terms is now very much familiar. So when you feel happy, try to recollect situations when you will happy. You will find that there is a set of feelings. What are those set of feelings? And those are coming effortlessly and naturally to me. And those feelings are related with trust, respect, confidence, and other value which is related in human to human relationship. So when I feel happy, these feelings are naturally and effortlessly acceptable to each one of us. We also welcome these feelings and desire them to continue in ourselves. And when we observe such feeling, we find that these are the situations when we are in harmony. And these feelings are nothing but a reflections of that harmony. So when as an individual you are engaged in a particular activity and that activity is totally accepted by you, you are enjoying for involving in that activity. So the feelings generated by involvement in that activity is coming naturally and effortlessly, and it is entirely naturally acceptable to me. It is naturally acceptable to person who is enjoying doing a particular job, who is enjoying doing his work, who is enjoying doing his job. So those feelings are coming naturally and effortlessly. And we also welcome these feelings and desire them to continue in ourselves. After careful examinations, careful observations, what we find that I feel happy when I will becomes when we are in harmony. And when we are in harmony, the feelings which is coming naturally and effortlessly to me, it is a reflection of that harmony. Take for example, another example, it is related with respect. We have discussed Sir has discussed in greater detail today, but for understanding of happiness, I am giving from my perspective. Respect is a state of harmony between two human beings. When I respect the other and the other respect me, I like to be in that situations. When we both respect each other, it gives me some kind of satisfaction, and as a result of that satisfactions, it gives me a happiness. Similarly, when I look at individual level, if looking within me, when I have harmony in my thoughts, I have harmony in my feelings, then in that case, what is happening? I feel relaxed and I feel very happy. If this harmony is disturbed, I feel very uneasy at the individual level. So on this basis, try to look at all the moments when you feel happy. You will find that after careful observations, recollect all the past events or situations in which, while engaging in a particular activity, involved in a particular job, at all that moments when you feel happy, what you will find that the reason of being happy is that there is an element of harmony in it which I like, which you like. So that is what we are exploring in this 4 day and tomorrow also. So this concept of harmony is nothing but it is this concept of harmony is nothing. On this basis, we can understand happiness, which is nothing but the state or situation in which I live. If there is harmony, synergy in it, then I like to be in that state or situation. Nobody wants to be in a situations where there is no harmony or there is disharmony or there is disagreement. So we can understand happiness as the state, my mental state or situations which is related with activity, which is related with my efforts, the state in which I live, this is my mental, the situation in which I live, this is my day-to-day activity. If there is harmony in it, there is synergy in it, then I like to be that state or situations. That is, to be in a state of liking is happiness. Similarly, on these definitions, we can say that when we are in such a state of happiness, we experience no struggle, no contradictions or conflict within, and we enjoy such a state of being. Because whatever I am doing, I am fully enjoying myself, I am fully enjoying and involved in that particular job, involved in that particular activity. So as a result, there is no struggle within me, there is no contradictions or no conflict within exist within me. So I am enjoying whatever work, whatever in a state I am enjoying my that state, or I am enjoying by doing that particular activity, by doing that job, and we enjoy such a state of being. Because when we are in such a state of happiness, we experience no struggle, no contradictions or conflict within we, and not only that, we wish it to have its continuity, because I do not want only momentary happiness. I want the continuity of my happiness. So I am enjoying a particular activity, and after enjoying that, what I wish to have its continuity. On the other hand, when we experience feelings such as failure, disrespect, lack of confidence, being doubtful in ourselves or about others, we feel unhappy as they are a state of conflict. Each one of the statement you can verify it by yourself whether it is coming in my natural acceptance or not. If it is coming, then accept it, otherwise keep it verifying. So when we experience feelings such as failure, disrespect, lack of confidence, being doubtful in ourselves or about others, we feel unhappy as they are a state of conflict. And on the basis of these are the situations or these are the conditions where there is a lack of harmony. Every one of us have experienced it at some point of time, and after some time we are experiencing it in our day-to-day life. When there is a lack of harmony, then these kind of feelings may generate kind of failure, kind of disrespect, lack of confidence, being doubtful in ourselves, being doubtful about others. In these type of situations, what we are saying that these are the state when there is a lack of harmony, either within us at an individual level or either between us human to human and human to others. But on closer observations, at the same time, we do not wish for a continuation of these feelings within and want to try and change them. We can call this as unhappiness. So on the basis of that, we can define that happiness, unhappiness is a state where the state in which I live, the situation in which I live, if there is conflict within me, conflict with other, contradictions with other in it, then I do not like to be in that state or situation. As the opportunity comes, I want to be out of that situations where I want to free from any conflict. I want to free from any contradictions. And this is nothing but that is unhappiness is to be in a state of disliking is unhappiness. To be in a state of disliking is unhappiness. So on the basis of that, we can define happiness and unhappiness as to be in a state of harmony is happiness and to be in a state of disharmony or contradiction is unhappiness. Keep on exploring this definition. The definition of happiness is nothing but the to be in a state of harmony. Take various examples from your life itself and imagine from your past experience when you will feel happy, when you will not feel happy. And check this definition within yourself and verify it. You will find that okay, each and every time when there is a harmony within myself, harmony with my activity, then it will lead to happiness. If there is any disharmony or any contradiction within myself, it will lead to unhappiness. So it is very important to at this point of time, since we have defined the happiness, so it is very important to point out that we do get an impression of happiness through our sensory interaction, such as while eating tasty food, seeing a beautiful picture, smelling a sweet fragrance, etc. But what we are saying, our requirement, the basic aspiration is not only getting the happiness and prosperity, but it is about the getting the continuous happiness and prosperity. So when we get the impression of happiness through our sensory interaction, also say, I am eating very tasty food. So the happiness related with eating tasty food, it is only temporary. Seeing a beautiful picture, I am become very happy, but that moment, that happiness moment will not last and it is not in continuity. So these impressions which is related with our sensory interaction, it is always short-lived and their continuity can never be ensured. So in fact, all attempts to seek the continuity of happiness through sensory interactions only leads to more and more misery. So we have discussed about the happiness. Now come to the second basic aspirations or basic goal, continuous happiness and prosperity. So let us explore what we mean by the prosperity. So we have discussed about the happiness. Happiness is nothing but the to be in a state of harmony is happiness, and to be in a state of disharmony, to be in a state of conflict, to be in a state of contradiction is unhappiness. So we are going to explore what we mean by the prosperity and whether it is essential or not. So it is very easy to see that prosperity is related with all our physical facility. So it is related with material things. That's why we call it physical facility. In this also, if we make a list of all the physical facility, the list can go long depending upon individual requirement. The list may vary in 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, but it is very difficult. If you try to make your what kind of physical facility as an individual you require in your life, the list hardly you will be able to full 1 page or 2 page. So after making all the list, after making the list of all kind of physical facility which is required for a human beings, but say we in day-to-day life we use a brush to clean our teeth, clothes to wear, food to eat, vessels to cook and eat the food in a pair of spectacles, a two-wheelers or a four-wheelers, a radio set, mobile phone, and the list can go long, can go on. But on the basis of this list, we can say that these physical facilities are needed only for take care of our body. And as a human beings, we have explored ourselves during these last 4 days. During these 4 days, we have explored at this point of time, we can say that human equal to body plus self. So the requirement of all these physical facility is only for take care of our body. When we are able to cater to the needs of the body adequately, we feel prosperous. So on the basis of that, we are defining prosperity is nothing but it is about the feeling of having or making available more than required physical facility. It is also related with the feelings, but that feeling is related with the requirement of our physical facility. What is that physical facility? We have made the list. So prosperity is nothing but the feeling of having or making available more than required physical facility. So to make sure that feeling in yourself, in ourself, in any human beings, it requires two things are essential. First is correct assessment of need for physical facility, and second is the competence of making available more than required physical facility through productions. It is that feelings, the feelings of prosperity, the feelings of having or making available more than required physical facility will only come if we at an individual, if we make the correct assessment of need for physical facility, and second is not only the correct assessment of need, the competence of making available more than required physical facility, and of course that will be available only through productions of that physical facility. So if these two are fulfilled, then this will lead to the feeling of having or making available more than required physical facility. So that is about the prosperity. So we need physical facility. There is no questions. In the beginning of the discussions, we need physical facility, we need to live in relationship, and we need right understanding also. But here we are discussing about the basic human aspirations, and the basic human aspirations so far what we have on the basis of our discussions, whatever we have discussed, we have defined there are two basic human aspirations. One is continuous happiness and another is related with prosperity. Prosperity is related with our physical facility, and we define prosperity is nothing but the feeling of prosperity is the feeling of having or making available more than required physical facility. That feelings will only comes when we make correct assessment of need for physical facility of an individual, of a human beings, and not only the correct assessment, we have to make sure that that physical facility is available more than my requirement. So that will lead to the feeling of having or making available more than required physical facility. If based on these definitions, can we say that we can quantify the need for physical facility? Otherwise, it will be very difficult to produce more than the requirement. So whatever my need for physical facility, is there a limit to the need for physical facility? Yes, since my body needs are limited, so we can say that we can quantify the need for physical facility. Whatever the list of physical facility I have prepared as an individual, you have prepared, and collectively for human beings, the physical facility of a human being is quantified because the needs of the body are limited. So we have already discussed this. So at this point, we can say that we can be prosperous only if there is a limit to the need for physical facility. If there is no limit, so it will be very difficult to come to the feeling of more than the requirement of my physical facility. So first, is it possible to quantify the need for physical facility? We have already done this exercise. Yes, my needs are limited. The needs related to my body requirement is limited. So we can quantify it. So if there is no limit, whatsoever be the availability with us, the feeling of prosperity cannot be assured. But here what we are talking, we have identified my need for physical facility. Physical facility is nothing but the needs related to fulfillment of my body requirement. So needs of body are limited. So on that basis, we can say that we can quantify the need for physical facility, and since we can quantify, so we can also produce what is my more than my requirement. So a little exploration in these directions will show that the physical facility are the needs of the body and their need is limited in time in quantity. This we have already discussed when we are talking about in earlier session. Human is nothing but the body plus self. Body requirement is alag, needs of body is different and needs of self is different. So needs of the body is limited in time and quantity. On this basis, we can identify a limit to these needs and evaluate whether we have enough. Secondly, just assessing the need is not enough. We have to make it fulfilled, make it in product more than the produce. So we need to be able to produce or make available more than the perceived need. So that is the only way we can ensure the prosperity. So prosperity can be clearly understood and evaluated on the basis of defining my need for body. And since need of body is limited, so related with all type of physical facility is for body requirement of body only. So we can say that need for physical facility is also limited. On that basis, we can quantify this need for physical facility, and since we have already quantified it, we can produce more than that. So that will give some feelings at any point of time in me. Whatever physical facility I am having, it is more than my requirement. So that will lead the feelings of prosperity in me. So this you can evaluate it for yourself too and make the list of all kind of physical facility which as an individual, as a human beings you requires. And after preparing the list, see if there is a limit to the need for physical facility. Say for a very common example, I need a car. How many number of car I need? I need a house. How many number of house I need? I require. I need so many list. Take the list of all kind of physical facility and see if there is a limit to the need for physical facility or not. You have to check it yourself. Since I am saying it, I am showing it to you through this presentation, there is no need to accept this statement. You have to verify it for yourself. How you going to verify for yourself, make a list of all kind of physical facility which at this point of time you want in your life, and see that list whether you are able to quantify or not. And see whether you feel prosperous at that moment or not. Because when you prepare the list, you will find that many of the things which as an individual you require is already most of us is already having more than my requirement. Say my requirement is 5 pair of cloth. But when we prepare the list, okay, I need 5 pair of cloth. Cloth is one of my physical facility requirement, one of my bodily requirement. So when you quantify it, how many pair of cloth I require, 5, 10, 15, 20, and when you count it for yourself, you find that some of you having 5, some of you 10, some of you 20. Even when from my personal experience, I have explored this during the interactions with this uh, harmony workshop, the list gone. Even an individual having more than 100, 200 pair of clothes. But my requirement is how much I require, 5, 10, 15. So this gives a feelings of more than my requirement in terms of one physical facility. Similarly, check it with all kind of physical facility, all type of physical facility, and see whether you feel prosperous at that particular moment or not. And this is very important things to understand to generate a feelings of prosperity, having more than my requirement at this point, right moment. So this exercise you can do after the class. It is a very enjoyable exercise. So while understanding prosperity, since it is related with prosperity is nothing but it is related with the feelings of having more than required physical facility. So there is a basic or fundamental difference between the term which we are generally using, wealth and prosperity. There is a difference. Is there a difference? Again, let us explore it. How? With help of example, we are exploring what we mean by the wealth and what we mean by the prosperity. Let us assume I have a lot of wealth, a lot of money. You come to my house, but I get worried that you may stay back longer than expected, and I might have to feed you tea, snacks, or even a meal. It is a funny situation, but it may happen. What would we call this state? The example is the first assumptions which I have started, the sentence is started with, let us assume I have a lot of wealth, a lot of money. You came to my house, but I get worried that you may stay back longer than expected and I might have to feed you tea, snacks, or even a meal. So it is a very funny situations, but it may happen. What would we call this a state? This is nothing but, explore it further. A person has a lot of money but does not want to share even a bit of it. Not only that, the person, we can say that since the person is having wealth but feels deprived, in other words, the person does not have a feeling of being prosperous. That is the difference between wealth and prosperity. If one felt prosperous, she would have shared what one has, since he knows that I am having more than enough wealth, which is more than which it will meets my all kind of requirement. So it is about the understanding about all my needs, all my physical facility. Basis of that understanding, I know that I am having more than sufficient of my requirement. Then the person becomes generous in nature. So that will lead to the feeling of prosperity. On the other hand, someone who does not have a lot of wealth may welcome you into her house and ask you to stay back for a few days and help you out. This is an indication of feeling prosperous. The person may not having all kind of physical resources, all type of resources. He may not be wealthy, but he may welcome you and ask you to stay back for a few days and help you out. So this is an indication of feeling prosperous. So on this basis, on this example, we can conclude that wealth is a physical thing, while prosperity is a feelings. Feelings is not generated in my body. Feeling is generated in self. So we are saying that we are concluding this. Wealth is a physical things. It means having money or having a lot of physical facility or both. While prosperity is a feeling of having more than requirement. More than requirement. Prosperity is a feeling of having more than required physical facility. It is not just physical facility. While wealth is a physical things, it means having money or having a lot of physical facility or both. While prosperity, it is about a feelings of having more than required. It is not just physical facility. So that is the difference between wealth and physical facility. This is a very important distinction. We mostly fail to, most of the time, we mostly fail to make these distinctions today. So and due to this understanding, due to this misunderstanding of wealth and prosperity, what our effort, most of the time, I am making my efforts, we are making our efforts, we keep working for wealth. We keep working for accumulating more and more physical facility. We keep working for accumulating more and more money in our account, in bank balance. We are keep on increasing our this wealth, this physical things, this physical facility, without even realizing that the basic desire is for the feelings of prosperity, to have a feelings of having enough. So let us ask ourselves, what is naturally acceptable to me? Accumulating more and more wealth while feeling deprived, or having requisite wealth and feeling prosperous? This, as an individual, each one of you, each one of us, including me, I have to explore in myself which one should give I in my life, what is it my priority? Accumulating more and more wealth while feeling deprived, or having requisite wealth and feeling prosperous. So we find that the latter naturally acceptable. So of course, if you check it, everyone will agree that having requisite wealth and feeling prosperous is acceptable. It is naturally acceptable to me. So not only do we want wealth, but we want to feel prosperous too. So prosperity is related with about the feelings of having more than my needs, more than my physical facility. In other words, we can say that our basic desire is to feel prosperous, and wealth is a means to that end. We can say that. And in order to feel prosperous, we need to first decide how much wealth, physical things is needed. Else, it is like trying to fill water in a glass that has no bottom. We keep on pouring, and the glass and the water will keep on flowing from the bottom. So how much wealth is required for my happiness? That is a question mark, because wealth is related with wealth is a physical things. The wealth is related with getting all kind of physical facility, and physical facility is only for requirement of my body. The happiness is coming in self component. The happiness is requirement of self. So no matter how much money you require to become happy, that is a question mark. So in order to feel prosperous, we need to first decide how much wealth, physical things is needed, else it is like trying to fill water in a glass that has no bottom. Because the glass will never be filled howsoever one may try. We see that today we are generally unable to do this. We are busy accumulating wealth, but we do not feel prosperous. This is because the root cause why we are doing this most of the time, why we are involved in accumulating more and more, because the main cause is we do not identify our needs as a human beings. What is my needs? What is our needs? What is my family needs? What is my society needs? We do not identify, and hence no matter how much we have, it is always less, and we feel as an individual, at a family level, at a society level, we feel deprived of having something, and that something is missing, and that what is that something we do not know, because we do not identify our need. Hence no matter how much we have, it is always less and we feel deprived. So it is also very important to point out that since for all our physical facility, we are directly or indirectly dependent on nature. Whatever requirement of our physical facility, we are getting it from the nature. And the continuity of prosperity can be ensured only if our production system are in harmony with the nature. Unless and until if our production system are not in harmony with the nature, it will be very difficult, because all kind of physical facility, all type of physical facility, directly or indirectly, we are dependent on nature. So the continuity of prosperity can be ensured only if our production system are in harmony with the nature. This implies that we use natural resources in a renewable manner and utilizing appropriate technology so that the human needs are satisfied and nature is also enriched. That is we have to incorporate in our daily life in each and every area of human activity the concept of sustainable development, of utilizing the proper resources so that the nature can also be enriched. Apart from the fulfillment of human needs, all kind of resources, we use natural resources in a renewable manner and utilize appropriate technology. Here appropriate technology means the technology which will enrich the nature rather than degradations of nature. In general, enrichment of nature we simply include that improvement of air quality, improvement of water quality, improvement of our environment in which we are living. But due to the progress of technology, due to the progress of each and every area of life, what we are observing, this nature day by day, if you look into past 200 or 300 data, day by day, instead of enrichment of nature, the nature is degrading. So we have to get the feeling of prosperity, we have to enrich the nature. So for doing that, we have to produce our physical facility in a renewable manner. Say for example, very common example which is related with my day-to-day requirement. We need food for the body. We grow grain in our field. If the farming method is such that it retains, enhances the fertility of the soil, we can continue growing grains on the same piece of land and keep feeding our body. Otherwise, if we are using the methods, the farming methods which is not natural, which is not natural, then after certain period of time, that same piece of land will becomes barren and it will be of no use. We cannot grow our food on that particular piece of land. So that is about the definitions of understanding about the happiness and prosperity. Since we have already explored about the happiness and prosperity, let us discuss some of the assumptions related with happiness and prosperity. Looking at the prevailing notions of happiness and prosperity. Whatever we have discussed so far, let us have a critical look at the prevailing notions of happiness and prosperity. In the current scenario, we are generally trying to achieve happiness and prosperity by maximizing accumulations and consumptions of physical facility. That is one. Second is, if we are doing that, this is an attempt to achieve happiness through pleasant sensory interaction. So what we have observed, this will lead to temporary satisfactions, temporary happiness. But our requirement is that I need continuous happiness and prosperity. And we have also explored that physical facility, in this case, if our assumption is to trying to achieve happiness and prosperity by maximizing accumulations and consumptions of physical facility. So, if this is our assumptions, this is our prevailing notions, what is happening here? I am not seeing the physical facility in terms of fulfilling bodily needs, but as a means of maximizing happiness. As a result, what is happening? Due to this wrong assessment of wants for physical facility, we keep on accumulating more and more and more, and we say that in the beginning when we try to explore what is the need of physical facility, what is the need of a human beings. Most of the time we answer that My needs are unlimited. My needs are unlimited, and for fulfilling that unlimited needs, I require unlimited amount of money. But that unlimited amount of money is what? Money is nothing but a material things, physical things. But the thing is that all the physical things, all the material things are limited. So even the whole resource of this planet Earth will not lead towards the happiness, because happiness is a things related with the self. Happiness is a requirement of self, and I am trying to get happy, trying to achieve happiness through the material things. And material is limited, and we need happiness in continuous. So continuous requirement of continuous happiness cannot be fulfilled by the things which are limited in nature. No physical facility available so far is unlimited, because all kind of physical facility are made from the physical material worlds, and all material is limited in nature. So from physical facility or material which is limited in nature, we cannot get the continuous happiness from the limited resources. So this wrong assessment of wants for physical facility has been unlimited, and this will lead to more and more exploitations of nature, more and more exploitations of resources. And this purpose is, it is in self defeating. No matter how much amount of money we have accumulated, no matter how much resources, how much physical facility as an individual you have accumulated, it cannot assure you, it cannot guarantee you to continuity of happiness. So neither can we hope to achieve continuous happiness through sensory interactions, nor can we have prosperity as it amounts to trying to fulfill unlimited wants through limited resources. So both of our human aspirations, be it continuous happiness and prosperity, neither of it can be fulfilled by accumulating more and more physical facility. So this one wrong assessment of wants for physical facility, it will lead to whole wrong directions of our whole life. So this effort is, and due to this wrong assessment, once we accumulate more and more, it will, due to this effort, is engendering problem at all the level, be it at the individual level, be it at the family level, be it at the society level, be it at the nature's level. It is becoming anti-ecological and anti-people and threatening the human survival itself. So some of the consequences of such a trend are, we can summarize it at the level of the individual, which we have seen already earlier also, rising problem of depression, because we are trying to accumulate more and more, and since we have explored why we are doing this, the main cause, the main desire behind doing each and every activity is to become happy. For I am doing whatever I am doing it for the sake of happiness, sake of continuous happiness and prosperity. But I am not getting the continuous happiness and prosperity. So as a result, what is happening? I am doing all my efforts to achieve this continuous happiness and prosperity, but I am not getting it. So at the result, The outcome is at the level of the individual rising problem of depression. At this point of time, no matter what age group we are talking about, even at the student level, also this is rising problem of depression, various kind of psychological disorder, suicide, stress, insecurity in us, and various kind of psychosomatic diseases, loneliness, and various other problems which is at the individual level as a result of this one misconceptions, one understanding, one misconceptions. What is that? That by accumulating more and more physical resources, it will lead toward, it will lead towards happiness. But this is a very wrong assumptions, because both domain of resources is to fulfill my body requirement. Happiness is to fulfill my self requirements. As a human beings, my existence is at both level. Human is combinations of body and self. So at the level of the individual, we are facing rising problem of depressions, psychological disorder, suicide, stress, insecurity, psychosomatic disease, loneliness, and at the level of family, breaking of joint family, mistrust, conflict between older and younger generation, insecurity in relationship, divorce, dowry torture, family feuds, wasteful expenditure in family functions. At the level of society, growing incidence of terrorism and Naxalism, rising communalism, spreading casteism, racial and ethnic struggle, and so on. At the level of nature, we have seen it: global warming, water pollution, air pollutions, soil pollutions, noise pollutions, resource depletions of materials, deforestations, loss of fertility of soils, and many other problems. The list can go longer. So based on that, it therefore calls for an urgent need for human beings to correctly understand happiness and prosperity, as well as sustainable way to achieve this. So since we have explored happiness and prosperity, so I am leaving at this point, and there are some possible questions, confusion, which you can look later on. There are some misconceptions about confusion usually emerge when we generally discuss this concept of happiness and prosperity. So kindly go through it, since already it is 4:15. So kindly go through it and try to explore it by yourself.